So my name is Rebecca Zahn and I'm a lecturer at the University of Strathclyde. My area of legal expertise is UK and European labour law, and I'm going to talk about the impact of Brexit on employment law. The EU has limited competence to adopt laws in the area of employment law. Nevertheless, the EU has had a significant impact on workers' rights in the area of equality law, the organisation of working time, and the protection of fixed and part-time work, as well as pension and social security rights and collective rights. The area where the EU has had the greatest impact, though, apart from equality law, has been in the field of health and safety, where it has adopted comprehensive laws providing for the protection of workers while at work. Overall, legislation originating from the EU has given individual and collective rights to workers which did not previously exist in the UK. For example, the EU has adopted a law which regulates working time. This law places limits on the number of hours that individuals can work. It entitles workers to rest breaks such as lunch breaks during the working day, and it entitles workers to paid holidays. Another example would be the right to consultation in the event of redundancies, where the EU has adopted a law that regulates when an employer must consult when they want to make people redundant. The effect of UK withdrawal from the EU for people's lives depends on the future relationship between the UK and the EU. Should the UK choose to leave the EU completely, often referred to as a hard Brexit, then the UK government could choose which EU-derived laws to keep and which ones to abolish. Based on long-standing opposition of some past UK governments to certain EU employment rights, one independent legal opinion commissioned by the Trades Union Congress in the run-up to the referendum vote in June identified a number of EU-derived employment laws which would be especially vulnerable to repeal and/or amendment. These include the laws on collective redundancies that I've already talked about, as well as the rules on working time and some of the EU-derived health and safety regulations. These laws could either be abolished completely or replaced with laws which are less favourable to workers. In the absence of an obligation to abide by harmonised EU rules, there is also a risk that the UK will seek a competitive advantage by implementing labour standards that are lower for workers than those required in other countries of the European Union, which would have a significant impact on the UK and on workers in the UK who are already operating in one of the least regulated labour markets amongst OECD countries.